Welcome to Buckeye Turf Podcast. This podcast discusses the practice of mowing, from proper mowing height to types of mowers and basic maintenance of the cutting unit. My name is Carl Dannenberger, Professor of Turfgrass Science at The Ohio State University. Mowing height is the single most important cultural practice because it determines the management intensity of the turf. The lower the mowing height, the more intensive the management. The cultural intensity found on golf courses is directly related to the mowing height. Greens are the most intensively managed. Mowing heights range from a tenth to a quarter-inch height of cut, depending on the grass species and cultivar. Tees rank second to greens in cultural intensity, with mowing heights ranging from a quarter to 5/8 inch, depending on the turfgrass species. Fairways follow, and again, depending on the turfgrass species, are maintained between 3/8 and an inch and a quarter height of cut. Roughs are the least intensively managed. Here we break roughs into the intermediate, which is a strip of rough next to the fairway that is approximately 6 to 9 feet wide. The intermediate rough is approximately 1/2 the height of the primary rough, which depending on the species can vary from an inch and a half to 4 inches. The frequency of mowing is influenced by the height. The lower the height of cut, the more frequent the mowing required. Again, depending on the species, the frequency can vary, but mowing is most frequent on greens, followed by tees and fairways, then the intermediate rough, and lastly the primary rough. Although greens are basically mowed on a daily basis, they may also be cut multiple times in one day for the purpose of increasing ball roll. This is usually done leading up to and through golf tournaments. Cutting the green twice is referred to as double cutting. Frequently mowed turf like greens should be mowed in a different direction each day. This chart posted in a maintenance facility informs mowing operators of the directional mowing pattern for the day. There are two types of mowers, reel and rotary. Reel mowers are used primarily on short-cut turf, but may also be used at higher heights of cut commonly found in roughs, while rotaries are restricted to roughs. A reel mower is basically a rotating drum or reel with helical blades. The arrow is pointing to one of the blades on the reel. The blades pass across a stationary plate known as a bed knife, which shears or cuts the leaf blade at the point where the blade edge and the bed knife come within their closest proximity to each other. There are two types of reel mowers used on greens: a walk-behind, consisting of a single cutting unit as shown here, and a triplex or a 3-cutting unit mower, which was developed to mow greens in a shorter period of time. The number of blades on a greens mower can range from 9 to 11. On tees, 6 to 11 blade reel mowers can be used. Generally, a walk-behind mower is used on tees because of the irregular shape or small size and limited access of the tee. On fairways, reel mowers are used and operated in combinations as either 3, 5, or 7 units. The units can be self-contained on the mower, like the one shown here, or pulled with a tractor as a gang unit as shown here. The number of blades on a fairway unit range from 7 to 11. As the mowing height is lowered, the greater number of blades required to maintain the higher frequency of cut. Reel mowers, when used to mow primary rough, are normally 5 to 7 units or gangs. The number of blades per reel is 5 or 7, with 5 being the most common. Reel mowers are not used as widely in roughs as they once were. Rotary mowers have become popular rough mowers and will be discussed later. Reel mowers in roughs are more commonly used in the intermediate rough. From a maintenance perspective, reel mowers need to be adjusted on a regular basis. The next few slides provide an overview of reel maintenance and adjustment. For a more in-depth and for specific maintenance and service of reel mowers, the equipment manufacturer should be consulted. The two components critical in maintaining a proper cut are the bed knife and the blades. The bed knife needs to be maintained with a sharp edge. In this case, the bed knife is being sharpened. The reel units themselves are sharpened using grinders, with the spin grinder being the most common. After the bed knife and blades have been sharpened, the final step is backlapping, which puts a fine sharpened edge on the mowing unit. It is accomplished by placing an abrasive compound on the blades as the reel is turning backwards. In this example, the backlapping machine is to the left of the mower and turns the reel in a backward or opposite direction of the normal cutting rotation. On the newer hydraulic mowers, backlapping capabilities are contained internal to the mower. This photograph shows the controls for backlapping. The height of cut is adjusted, often using a device like the one shown here known as an AccuGauge. However, there are various types of devices that can be used. In this case, a homemade device for setting the reel mower's height of cut was made. We took a piece of plywood and adjusted a screw, the arrow is pointing at it, to the desired height. Setting the height of cut in the shop above a flat surface is known as the bench setting. This is the height that the bed knife is above the surface. Using the bed knife, the adjustable front roller, in this case the AccuGauge, the bench setting or height of cut is set. There are devices that will also check the actual height of cut on the turf. Switching now to rotary mowers. Rotary mowers are used at higher heights of cut. This is especially true on cool season turf grasses. The rotary mower consists of a single blade that rotates around a center shaft. Rotary mowers are used in intermediate and primary rough on golf courses. The rotary mower blade should be sharpened on a regular basis. Sharpening is done with a file or grinding wheel. When working with or around mowing equipment, always follow the manufacturer's safety procedures. For example, when sharpening a blade, use safety goggles or eye guards. After sharpening, check to make sure the blade is balanced. An unbalanced blade will result in a lack of uniformity in the cut. There are several types of commercially available devices for checking the balance. In this case, a balancing cone is used. If the blade is out of balance, it should be resharpened or ground to bring it into balance. In conclusion, mowing equipment has come a long ways from the days of grazing sheep to more sophisticated mowers. Advancements in mowing technology have contributed greatly to the improvements in golf course quality and playability.